get it right. So let me just try to talk with you a little bit. Welcome to Life in Obscurity. That's the name of this video cast, this podcast, whatever it is you're listening to or watching me on today. And Life in Obscurity is a new offering that I'm making on really taking a look at what it is like to be a creative person, whether that be an artist, a musician, a writer, a woodworker, a designer, whatever it is that's a creative endeavor, a creative outlet for someone. Taking a look at how most of the people in the world who are creative, they spend their entire lives in obscurity. And that's where we are today. We're in a little town called Obscurity that is right smack dab in the state of nowhere. And welcome. This was born out of the desire to reach out to other creative people who find themselves really in the same boat that I'm in, and that is that we create, we build things, we make things, we invest our times and our energy and our resources into being creatives, and yet there's very little recognition for that. At least recognition that we think of with all the influencers or all the famous people who are doing these things we're doing, but for some reason they have actually made it. And so just going to talk through in the course of these videos some of that, what some of that's like. It's a very frustrating, just a little bit of my own story. I was in high school and knew that I was wanting to go into art and be a famous artist. So I went to college, went to an art college, and of course in art college, at least at the time in the 80s, so a lot of my references will probably be from the 80s for those of you that like that kind of thing. In the 80s, the idea was we were going to go to art college and we were going to become famous artists. So we had that mentality in our heads as we were working and producing work that, if we can just get this, we will become famous artists. So in amongst that, I also had the idea that, all right, well, if I don't become a famous artist, what can I fall back on? And at the time, teaching was a very viable option for those artists to seek employment in. So I went into art education as well as doing all of my just major art things. And ended up, guess what? I taught art for 30 years. And really my artwork is not known. It's not seen. It's not really, nobody mentions my name or my artwork in those areas or fields where I would love to see them mentioned. I remember thinking that when the internet came on board, it came online, and I think the first time I used the internet was in 1995 and 94, 95. And I remember that to become well known before the internet took just tons of work. And I remember thinking as friends of mine, and we were talking about how, oh man, the internet, man, this thing we can get our stuff out to everybody. People all over the world can see our work. And that's true. The problem is that everybody can do that. So it became this, flood of so many people's artwork out there, so much music, so much books, so much of any kind of creative endeavor that's out there that you get lost in all of that noise. So the internet wasn't as helpful as we certainly had hoped that it would be for at least those of us that are living in obscurity. So that's kind of an overview of what I'm going to do and discuss here. This is a pretty short video, mainly because I just wanted to introduce it. I wanted to jump in and start doing something. What I've been reading says nobody's going to watch this anyway. So for future me, who will be watching it, hey, and, for those 2 people that stumbled on it and actually found it and actually spent, the 10 minutes or whatever it is watching this, appreciate it. But I want to leave you with one thing, and this is how I'll close this out, trying to give you a bit of advice from someone who's kind of walked a road maybe that you guys, some of you haven't yet, and that is keep being creative, keep working, keep doing the things that you love to do. I know for many of us, we have to get that job that pays the bills, and that job may not be glamorous. It may not be something we even necessarily like. I taught for a number of years, really in a situation that I did not care for, and yet I kept doing that, and I kept creating artwork. I kept creating various different things. I build tables with wood. I paint, I draw, I sculpt, I photograph, I do digital work, I write, probably have three, almost 4 books now written, none of them published, at least, not, I'm not a published author. I like playing music on a guitar, but I'm not very good at that. So, but whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, and this is true for anything in life, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you're going to fail. That is just going to happen. That is just part of the process of living. You're going to fail. And it's very helpful to prepare for that. It's helpful to say, I'm not necessarily going to succeed at everything I'm going to do. But I want you to think of this. When you fail, try to fail forward. So when you try to land a job, I'm in the process of looking for work right now. And I get the applications and trying to set up interviews, and just how stressful and intimidating and hard that stuff is. But anytime I do something, even if I don't succeed at it, even if I didn't get that interview or no one called me back in this situation, I try to use that failure to move forward. Same thing is true in creative endeavors. Some of my artwork over the years, when I've finished a piece, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's terrible. But I've learned from it. I've kind of said, okay, this is what I was capable of doing. This is what I wanted to do. And what have I learned from the situation? And then I've set out to move forward in it. So as you're, seeking to be creative, living here in obscurity, fail forward. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me. Hopefully you will catch me when I do my next presentation. Have a good one.